You've had your cat for years. You feed them, you clean their litter box, you let them curl up beside you. But what if I told you that right now, tonight, your cat is quietly longing for something you've never given them? And the longer you go without doing it, the more that invisible distance between you keeps growing. Most owners will never figure this out, and the cats that never get it, they spend their whole lives bonding with someone who never fully understood them the right way. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will change how you see your cat forever. Welcome to Lucky Cat. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now because this is exactly the kind of thing we talk about every single week. Let's get into it. And I want you to pay attention because every single point on this list builds on the last one. By the time we get to number 5, you're going to understand your cat in a way that most owners never realize never do. Not even close. 1. Think about the last time you petted your cat. Where did your hands go? The top of the head, right? Maybe down the back, a quick scratch, and you moved on. It felt like affection. It looked like affection. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For a lot of cats, that kind of petting is something they tolerate, not something they love. And tolerating is not the same as enjoying. There's a massive difference between a cat that allows touch and a cat that actively leans into it, purrs deeply, and relaxes their entire body. And if you've never seen that second one fully, you might not even know what you're missing. Here's what the science actually tells us. Cats don't bark, cats don't complain. Sun 26 social grooming zones where touch is most positively received. We're talking about the base of the ears, under the chin, the cheeks where their whisker pads sit, and the base of the tail. These areas contain scent glands that cats use to mark safe and familiar individuals. When you gently stroke these zones, you're not just touching your cat, you're participating in a behavior called allogrooming, a social bonding activity cats normally reserve for other cats they trust. A study published in Behavioral Processes found that cats showed more affiliative behaviors like purring, head bunting, and relaxed posture when stroked in these preferred regions compared to neutral areas like the back or tail. On the other hand, many cats are sensitive to unpredictable touch along the spine or belly, which can quickly lead to overstimulation. So here's what I want you to try tonight. Sit with your cat and let them come to you. Start under the chin or along the cheeks. Use slow, consistent movements. Watch their tail, their ears, their eyes. You'll know within seconds whether you found the right spot. Because when you do, something changes. The eyes soften. The body leans in. The purring deepens. That's not just a nice moment. That's your cat experiencing a state of safety and social bonding, supported by the release of oxytocin, the same hormone linked to attachment in both cats and humans. You're not just petting them, you're speaking their social language. And if that already surprised you, hold on, because the last point on this list is something so overlooked, so completely ignored by most cat owners, that when you finally understand it, you're going to wish someone had told you on day 1. Keep watching. 2. Let me ask you something. When was the last time your cat got to truly hunt something? Not a quick bat at a toy for 10 seconds before you walked away. I mean a full sequence. Stalking, chasing, pouncing, capturing. Start to finish. If you can't remember, then you might be missing one of the most important psychological needs your cat has. Here's what most people think playtime is for. Entertainment. Burn a little energy, keep the cat busy, move on. But for a cat, play is not just play. It is a direct simulation of hunting behavior. Domestic cats are obligate predators. Their brains are hardwired for the hunt. Even well-fed indoor cats retain the full neurological drive to stalk and capture prey. Research published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery shows that lack of appropriate predatory play is strongly linked to behavioral problems like aggression, nighttime hyperactivity, and destructive behavior. When your cat locks onto a moving object, crouches low, and flicks their tail, they are running a deeply ingrained behavioral sequence: orient, stalk, chase, pounce, kill. When that sequence is interrupted or never completed, frustration builds. So here's the shift. Once or twice a day, engage your cat in structured play using a wand, toy, or anything that mimics prey movement. Keep it low to the ground. Let it move unpredictably. Let your cat stalk, pause, and then strike. And most importantly, let them win. At the end of the session, give a small meal or treat. This completes the natural hunt, eat, groom, sleep cycle. What you'll notice afterward is remarkable. A cat that was restless becomes calm, settled, and content. Not because they're exhausted, but because they're fulfilled. There's a difference. And the more you learn to see that difference, the more you'll understand what your cat actually needs from you. That brings us right into number 3, and this one is going to challenge something almost every cat owner misunderstands. 3. Have you ever called your cat's name and been completely ignored, not because they didn't hear you, but because they chose not to respond? Most people assume cats don't recognize their names or don't understand human communication. But that's not true. A 2010 study by Sophia University, led by Atsuko Saito, demonstrated that domestic cats can distinguish their own names from other words, even when spoken by strangers. Cats listened to a sequence of similar sounding words followed by their name. Their ears, head movements, and subtle responses showed clear recognition. So if they understand, why don't they respond? Because unlike dogs, cats are not evolutionarily wired to respond to commands. Their communication is based more on voluntary interaction and mutual benefit. Cats are highly sensitive to tone, rhythm, and emotional consistency. But more importantly, they respond when communication has meaning for them. If you say your cat's name in the same distracted tone over and over without consequence or reward, it becomes background noise. The fix is not repetition, it's intention. Use your cat's name sparingly and pair it with something positive. A gentle tone, eye contact, a slow blink. That slow blink, by the way, has been shown in research from the University of Sussex to function as a form of positive communication between cats and humans. Try this. Say your cat's name softly, then slowly blink and slightly turn your head. If they return the blink or approach, you've just had a real conversation in their language. Start building a consistent emotional signal around your voice. Over time, your cat won't just hear you, they'll choose you. Now imagine combining that with what I'm about to show you next. 4. Quick question. When was the last time your cat had to work for their food? Not just walking to a bowl, not just eating what's placed in front of them, but actually solving something, searching or engaging their brain to get it. If the answer is never, then you might be missing one of the most powerful enrichment tools in a cat's life. Here's the reality. Cats evolved as solitary hunters. Every meal in the wild requires effort, patience, and precision. When food appears instantly in a bowl, that entire behavioral system is bypassed. A study in applied animal behavior science found that cats given food puzzles or foraging opportunities showed reduced stress, increased activity, and more natural behavioral patterns compared to cats fed from standard bowls. This concept is called contra-freeloading, where animals prefer to work for food even when identical food is freely available. When your cat bats food out of a puzzle feeder, searches for hidden kibble, or manipulates an object to access a treat, they're not just eating, they're engaging their brain in a way that feels biologically right. And here's the part most people don't realize. When you set up that challenge, you become part of the reward system. Your cat begins to associate you not just with food, but with the satisfaction of earning it. You don't need anything complicated to start. Hide small portions of food around the room. Use a simple puzzle toy. Even placing kibble inside a folded towel can create a challenge. Do this a few times a week and watch the shift. That's not just a well-fed cat, that's a mentally fulfilled one. And now the final one. This is the one I promised you at the beginning, the one that costs nothing, requires nothing, and yet almost no cat owner ever does it intentionally. 5. I want you to try something the next time you're home with your cat. Not during feeding, not during play, not when they're demanding attention. Just a quiet moment. Sit down on the floor. Don't call them. Don't reach for them. Don't make any sudden movements. Just exist in their space. This might seem like nothing, but what happens next if you give it time will tell you everything about your relationship with your cat. Cats are extremely sensitive to perceived pressure. Direct staring, reaching hands, looming presence, these can all feel intrusive in feline body language. When you remove all of that, when you lower yourself and become still, something changes. Your cat notices. Maybe they glance at you. Maybe their ears turn. And if you stay calm, you'll see it. They start to approach. Slowly, carefully, by choice. They might circle you. They might sit just out of reach. They might brush against you or settle nearby. That choice is everything, because in feline social behavior, voluntary proximity is one of the strongest indicators of trust. Studies in feline behavior consistently show that cats who initiate contact with humans display stronger attachment patterns and lower stress levels compared to cats that are constantly approached or handled without choice. When your cat chooses to be near you without being called, without food, without pressure, it means they feel safe with you, not because of what you provide, because of who you are to them. That's what you're building in that moment. Not control, not obedience, trust. Now think about all five of these together. The right touch in the right places. Play that fulfills their instinct to hunt. A voice that actually means something. Food that engages their mind. And presence that asks for nothing. None of these cost money. None of them take much time. But together, they create something most cat owners spend years misunderstanding. They call it independence. But what it really is trust given on the cat's terms. And your cat has been ready to give it to you since the very first day they chose your lap. The only question is whether you're going to meet them there. If this changed the way you think about your cat, share it with someone who loves their cat the way you do. Subscribe to Lucky Cat for more of this, because understanding your cat is the greatest thing you can ever do for them.